You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. How are you? Come on in here. Hang on for the ride. I've got some energy back today. Feeling pretty good after a month of ick. You know, that I was sick for a little bit. Like a lot of people, it was just dragging on. But today I've decided that that's it. I am done with it. I am moving on.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
It is the Daily Boost, and to be fair and completely honest and transparent, if you will, I have said moving on a couple times before, and it didn't work. That's what happens when you don't feel good, huh? But feeling good today, so I'm going to give it my best shot. I have some stuff for you this week. It's been kind of fun. I've been a little bit contemplative, kind of deep, a little frisky, if you will. Kind of a lot of research time, a lot of conversations, and kind of sharing that with you as I go. So I hope it's working for you. My name is Scott. Good to have you. Have you got my notes from Scott yet? I just got done writing a couple of them. I spent about 45 minutes writing 2 short notes. They're about 200 words, and I send them. If you want them, just go to notesfromscott.com. A little motivational, some learning, kind of like this podcast, kind of real, practical, in between the podcast, if you'd like. Notesfromscott.com. I was in the sauna this morning talking to my buddy Billy, and we were in a conversation about showing up and telling stories back and forth about showing up and how you show up and what percentage you show up and all that kind of stuff, kind of geeky conversation, coaching conversation. And I remembered I told him the story a long time ago. I was 20 years old. I got married very young to my first wife, Cheryl. And we were standing in a room at the back of the church. I remember it vividly, in a suit that didn't quite fit, and it had Polar Cup on it. Polar Cup is that frozen lemonade you get in South Florida. They have these Polar Cup locations. I'm not sure if they still do, but they did then. And I'd spilled it on my tuxedo for the wedding. Ugh. Not a good start. But it turns out a precursor to what was to come, for sure. Anyway, my pastor pulled me aside. It was one of those moments where you can tell that the other person knows something you don't. I even knew that as a young kid. He looked at me and said, do you know what makes marriage work? Now, I really never met this guy. We didn't have marriage counseling or anything. My wife said, he's the guy, he'll marry us. And I showed up. That was about it, right? I'm thinking, you're going to give me the Inquisition right now? Do I know what marriage works? I didn't hesitate, frankly, because I did. Yep, it's a 50-50 thing. As long as we both show up for each other half the time, it's 100%, it'll work out. He said confidently. Well, the pastor just kind of smiled. Not the kind of smile that says, "You're right." No, not that one. And his response hit me in a way I wasn't expecting, and frankly, it stuck with me. Success in anything is a 100-100 thing. You show up and commit to giving 100% of your effort all the time, and so does everybody else. Sure wish that worked all the time, right? But that's the way it should be. I got it. I nodded. I understood. I didn't really. I don't think. I was kind of young. I had to grow into it. I was 20, right? How could I understand that? But the line stuck with me for, well, it still does, decades. Probably because life kept kind of proving him right along the way. So Woody Allen once said, half a success is showing up. I used to believe that. On the surface, it makes sense, right? Most people don't even get to the starting line, by the way. They talk about what they want, they think about it, they plan for it, and they never walk through the door. So yeah, showing up matters for sure. It's kind of the price of admission. Usually what happens in my world is people show up doing something else, thinking they're doing something else. Does that make sense to you? I mean, it's actually very true. But I've shown up like plenty of times and I've gone home empty-handed. I watched other people show up reliably, consistently, and still wonder why their results didn't arrive. Has that happened to you? So if showing up gets you halfway, what's the other half? Well, the other half, I think, is commitment. Not the kind of the motivational poster version of commitment that a lot of people talk about. We do some of that around here for sure, but that's not really what works all the time. Where you clench your jaw, you kind of, let's go do this thing. Real commitment, right? No, it's the kind where you stop negotiating, I think, with yourself about how much effort you're willing to give. We see that all the time. That's what coaches kind of do. We're kind of negotiating with their clients, kind of get them to do more. That's what they come to us for, right? Most people treat their goals like negotiations. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever done that? Maybe you do this. You show up. Sure. Yeah. Why not? But you show up at like 60%, maybe 70 on a good day. Something holds you back. Is it your energy? Is it maybe your attention? Is it risk? What is it? Because going all in feels a bit dangerous sometimes. What if it doesn't work? What if I give everything and I still fail? So most people, including me and you and everybody else, we kind of hedge a little bit. We enough to say, let's say we tried, but not enough to actually find out what we're really capable of. That's not commitment. That's attendance. Now, it's not all the time for sure, but if you look at your life and you kind of divide it into the areas of your life, I'm sure throughout the course of a week, there are some things you show up 100% at and other things you show up 50% at. It's going to happen. That's kind of life, but I'm talking about the important stuff in life. My pastor was not talking about marriage back then. That wasn't marriage advice. He was handing me a principle that applies to everything, your career, your health, relationships, the whole thing. The thing, it's kind of been circling around inside your head for months. Maybe you haven't fully grabbed onto it yet. 100-100, not 50-50. Not I'll match what you give me. Not I'll try harder when I see results. You go first, you go all in, and you don't wait for a guarantee. And that's hard to do sometimes, especially when you're around other people and working with other teams. Very difficult to do, very difficult to kind of rise up and show up at 100% when you got people around you not showing up. I just came out of a weekend, an Easter weekend, doing some service at the church, kind of helping on the big Super Bowl weekend, right? And there were a couple people that weren't quite showing up, and it was like, what are you going to do? You can't, it's a church, you can't say anything, right? But they just weren't. So it was up to us to give 150% to get some things done. I'm not mad. It's just the way it is sometimes. So there's a concept in behavioral science called effort heuristic.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Hi, this is Zoe Deutsch.
And Nick Robinson. Our brand new movie, Voicemails for Isabel, is all about those little moments that feel like the universe is looking out.
Feeling homesick, then your sister calls.
Hearing that perfect song exactly when you need it. Sometimes life rigs things in our favor, like learning about your new favorite rom-com, Voicemails for Isabel. Now playing only on Netflix.
I think Norton, I think it was Michelle Norton, as I recall. It figured out that people assign more value to outcome that require greater effort. The more you put in, the more it means to you, and the more likely you are to protect it and to build on it. It's earned. But the part a lot of people haven't figured out yet is the effort works in reverse too. When you hold back a little bit, if you give 60%, your brain kind of figures out that, well, the goal isn't that important, evidently. because you just put 60% in. So you kind of start to believe your own half effort, right? And the next time it gets started, it gets even harder, but it gets easier to pull back. It's always easier when you go all in 100%. Commitment isn't just about what you do. It's about what you tell yourself you're worth investing in. When you go in 100%, you're not just working harder, you're sending a message. It kind of matters, right? That's me. I have a hard time getting me to go into anything unless it's 100% because I just understood. I mean, simple stuff, yes, kind of casual stuff. I'll just kind of slip into it and just do whatever I need to do. That's fine. But if it means something to me, which means it usually means something to somebody else, and I'm in, I'm all in. And that's a problem with me sometimes because when I'm all in, some people are not. And I can be a bull in a china shop because I decide I want something. It's an issue. I get it. I have to work through it, but that's life, right? If I'm going to do something, the outcome has to be kind of worth the full weight of what I'm doing. And that's who I want to be. Otherwise, just accept that it's not and don't worry about it, right? Not everything can take 100% of your commitment. Everything changes when it does, though. Not because effort guarantees results. It certainly doesn't. But because full commitment changes the person doing the work. You. And that person gets different results. This is not a really popular topic right now. Although if you look around and you talk to people, there are tons of people giving full commitment. But man, there's so many people who are not. And it's really difficult to get dragged into that. And if you're working with any larger group of people, it is easy to watch people around you fall up, isn't it? Hard to stomach, but you just got to stay in the game. So practically, how can we think about this? Well, here's what I would do. I would pick one area of your life. I do this often where you're holding back. You already know what it is, don't you? Mm-hmm. I know you do. The one where you're doing enough to stay in the game, but you're not in to actually win it. As a guy who works with lots of coaches and consultants, and they're kind of half-halfing it, half-halfing it, I almost said something else, didn't I? Ask yourself a question. What would 100% look like? Not 100% forever. That's unsustainable. Not burn a candle at both ends all the time. No, just for a little bit, right? Just a full commitment for a bit. How about a week? A project, maybe? Something simple. Maybe it means having a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it means like putting in an extra hour instead of coasting. Maybe it means making the decision that you've been sitting on top of for a while. Whatever it is, it's time to stop negotiating with your goals and time to kind of go after it. What's that negotiation costing you, by the way? I bet it's costing you a lot. I see it all the time. What if this happens? What if that happens? Don't have the time. I'm a little tired, whatever. I've been sick. I get it. I'm human, just like you. Believe it or not, I am. I'm not completely alien, just a little bit. Need to talk to my mom about that. You know, it's funny. Back in the day, that pastor gave me some good advice, and I gave him the confident answer, the only one I could give back then. I mean, I just, fake it till you make it right. A 50-50 thing, man. I said it like I was teaching him something. I now know that was not possible. He was gracious, as some people like that are. He did not laugh at me. He just smiled. He handed me the truth. And literally the next few decades, I would always remember that if I show up, I show up. And I think about how many times I've done that. I've walked into the room and I'm sure I had it figured out. And I realized I was just barely getting started, but I still showed up 100%. I showed up. That was half right. And I still try to do that today. And again, I'm going to kind of back around and tell you that sometimes when you show up, not everybody else is showing up at that level. What do you do with that? That's probably a whole different podcast. In fact, I can tell you, talking to you and getting your emails, you are showing up and you're giving all you can. And maybe you're not negotiating. Maybe you're at 100%, but you're surrounded by people who are not. Again, whole different podcast. What do you do? Hard place to be. I've done that a lot, and I've kind of figured, you're not going to like the answer. You're not going to like it, what you have to do. I'll make a note. How about that? When I get the podcast done today, I'll make a note to do a show on that and tell you how I've handled that. When I show up at 100% and the other people have not, what do you do? Showing up opens doors, but commitment is what walks you through that door. It keeps you moving when nobody else is watching and nobody's clapping. You just kind of do it. I've said this a lot. You don't need more information, do you? You kind of need a better plan. That's it. You need to stop splitting yourself between goals and the exit, basically. Go 100%. Not because someone else will match it, but because that's who you decided to be. Imagine what could happen if you just did that today. Just pick a couple things, skip one thing, just do it. Be all in. Could be a simple thing, could be a complex thing. I don't care. That's up to you. That's your life, right? I'll see you tomorrow.